Watch Who?
Hello.
And welcome to To Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to Watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
That was a good one. That was a nice little upbeat.
Very upbeat.
We're here, we're out in the middle of the desert, chilling out.
Yeah, sure.
having a bit of downtime.
I feel like we are because we've still got heat going on. I feel like being in the desert feels appropriate.
It does feel like that. That's the vibe we're going for this week, I think. Both had busy weeks. It's just been a bit of a...
It's been a bit of a week.
It has, yeah. So I haven't got any update. I haven't had time to watch TV, apart from Snakedance.
Do you know what? I'm behind. I mean, the only thing... I know I'm really behind on Only Murders in the Building. Bake Off's coming back. I love Bake Off.
We'll go straight into the story then, if we haven't got any other...
No, let's crack on.
Let's go in. So it's Snakedance, the second story of this season. Actually, quite exciting today. So I've only watched this all today.
Have you watched it before?
Oh yeah, I've seen it loads of times before, yeah. So I had this on... This was a childhood video one. But I think it was one of those ones. I think it was like on offer. I got it in half term.
Yeah.
Never really got on with it that well.
I struggled with this. And I was trying to work out why I was struggling because I tried this for several days. Like that first episode, I think it took me 2 times to finish it. A little bit of it, I think, it's been a busy week. It's been hot. Kind of the last thing I want to do is just sit and watch something, you know? I think it must just be that I've had a busy week because the acting's not bad. The acting's good throughout. I don't know. There's something about the story, though. There was just nothing really to like keep me. It got better, but there was nothing really driving me to keep with it.
No, I get that as well because I remember that's how I felt when I first watched it. I think when I had the video, it was just like, oh, okay, it's this. And I thought going in today, I was like, right, I'll take some notes. And usually, what happens more often than not, I'm like, oh, actually, I get, there's more to it this time around watching it. But today, I was just like, this hasn't changed since I first watched it.
It's a weird one because actually, like I said, the acting's great throughout. I mean, Martin Clunes is great. A young Martin Clunes layering.
Yeah, I knew you'd recognize. He's recognisable, isn't he? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Literally, because he's lying down. I was like, is that Martin Clunes? And then it's really obviously Martin Clunes, but like initially with his earring. Yeah, he's good. The mums are like all the acting's strong. I think it just feels a little bit samey. We literally had this exact thing last season, pretty much, and it was done better last season than it is here. It's just like a lot of Tegan. She's really good in this, though. She's especially towards it when she's like being fully taken over and all that. It's really strong. There's nothing different really about it. It's just the same storyline that's been going on for a while now that Tegan's got the Myron or whatever it is. And then they work it out and then they try. Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah.
We'll try and get through this one then. Strong. Well, I started watching this morning. I did part 1 on DVD. And then there was a knock at the door, and my season 20 Blu-ray arrived today.
Oh!
It's supposed to be out on Monday.
That was meant to be.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I've got to watch the Blu-ray now. It's quite fun. I haven't watched like all the extras and stuff, but Martin Clunes is on there. It's Janet Fielding and Martin Clunes meet up and have a chat, and he talks because it was like I think it was one of his first TV jobs.
I was thinking he looks really young in it. It probably was.
Well, I want to do a major clothes watch. A major one.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Nyssa's getting changed.
Well, Nyssa has finally got an outfit changed.
I know.
But it's not good though, is it?
It's better than her other one. It's better than that red thing that she's been wearing for 8 seasons and a bit. Or whatever it is. Yeah,
but she's got these weird stripe things and these short things and... it's terrible. And she said she hated it. Everyone hated it. It reminds
me of like really early on companions that were young that would just try, Dodo or some weird things. And Vicky did as well. And like, it kind of reminds me of that. So I quite liked it. It's kind of like if you've got a massive wardrobe and you don't know where you're going and you don't know what fashion or time period of things are, and you're just throwing things on. And it kind of reminded me of that, and I quite like that.
Well, when she came through the door and was like, "What do you think?" I think Dodo did that, and Victoria did that when she wore them
Yeah.
sequins. Yeah, so it was a bit of a throwback to that. But I mean, it's terrible. I think when Peter Davison saw it, he said that she looked like she was going to serve burgers or something in that thing. Like, I mean, but that, and then also you've still got Tegan in her awful white costume thing, which now, because we talked about it last week when it
It
first
fits
appeared.
better now than it did last week.
No, I was going to say I just kept seeing her shoulder, that sort of shawl, that jacket thing that she's got. It just doesn't fit. It's not from the back when she's doing.
I thought it fit better. I can't speak. I thought it fit better this week than last week.
Well, she's doing all this wonderful Mara acting, and I can just see like it sort of hanging off of her, and it just does. It's just not the right shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not great. It was really noticeable last week. I was like, what? Like when she's running around, and I was like, it just looks so awkward and uncomfortable. Like it doesn't look easy to be dealing with.
No.
But this one I did. Maybe it's because she's more static in this. Like she's generally just been static, and then she runs. She's static and then running away screaming. And then when she's taken her, and she's looking in the mirror a lot, maybe it gives you time to adjust your top and things,
But then all the costumes in this are very theatrical. This whole world is very theatrical. Martin Clunes, when he's got a couple of outfits.
Like a weird pirate king. It's such a weird outfit.
He starts off all right in his sort of like robes or dressing gown and thing, but then towards the end, when he gets like the ceremonial like skirt with like hat thing, I mean, but it does create quite a nice world.
I feel like the world could have been more. I mean, they're celebrating a big festival. I liked some of the stuff that was happening, but I felt that could have been more. The opening scene when they go in the market and it looks I really enjoyed that. It reminded me actually, really going back, Ian in the Snake. You know Ian when in the desert and like
in the Crusade.
Yeah. And like that was all like quite like out and like I like the market there because they hide amongst things and stuff there, didn't they?
Oh my god, I can't believe you remember. Yeah, doesn't the Doctor get a new outfit and like trick the clothes man and then hide under the table or something like that? Yeah, it is very like that. It does look like a 60s set, a 60s market set. Yeah,
and it looked quite like fun. And like it's just a shame that like I don't know, I didn't feel like there was this sort of festival celebration happening.
Although there's a lot of extras.
There's a lot of extras, yeah, but just going early into extras, yeah.
But I think it's the lighting in a lot of this. It's when they're inside, when they're in the TARDIS, when they're in the cave, when they're in the market, it's all lit bright. There's no difference. That's the problem. The
cave's all right. The cave was a bit dark, but you can tell it's like a studio cave.
Yeah, it's all studio. Apart from with old guy outside. I don't know why he's on film, and they go on film for him.
He's on film in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, for some reason that's on film. I don't know what the reason is for that. But yeah, it's the lighting that does it for me, I think. I think would have been better. Actually, it's very well lit in the fortune teller's tent, but we'll get to that. Then you've got Tegan in her bedroom, you can see the award-winning butterfly outfit still hanging up there in the background.
I like that.
And we've got that wicker chair thing as well.
I like the wicker chair. I love a wicker chair, mate. I'd love one of those. What they call? There's a specific name. It'll come to me at some point, but I like those chairs. Very 80s.
Yeah. And we're going back. Obviously, we have a sequel to Kinder. So the moment you saw Tegan in the black void dreaming, were you like, okay, this is definitely...
Yeah. It reminded me going back. It just didn't feel as good as the first time.
No, I think that's what it is.
I think that's what's a shame. It was so clever the first time, and it felt so different. And it was the same, but it felt different. And it didn't feel different in like a good way.
Tegan's in bed with tons of makeup on and in her corset thing, I think, or exactly her costume. Of course she's in bed in that as well.
Yeah.
And she's having a nightmare, so obviously the Mara has been there all along. It's still there after her time away and all of that. It's a bit scary, actually, so that when the Doctor sort of regresses her, and it's a bit of an exorcist moment, isn't it, with the Mara?
It is, yeah.
That was very... When I very, very first saw that moment, I was like, oh, that sort of makes you sit up and think...
Yeah, that was effective. That was really... I thought myself, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was really good. And yeah, like you said, she plays it really well when she's going back to the child and everything. It's a great opportunity for her to do acting again rather than running around Amsterdam. And actually, Nyssa is pretty good in this as well. The Doctor and Nyssa are working stuff out together because they're in that first couple of episodes. I feel like her hair's got bigger. I feel like she's got darker hair a little bit as well.
Oh, maybe it's just a change of clothes.
Yeah,
because her outfit was so dark, and now she's in something light.
it's weird seeing her in a colour. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. And then we have obviously Martin Clunes. So we have mother and son finally.
I know, yeah, we can say that.
So he's Lon.
Oh, he's an arse, isn't he, Lon?
Well, he's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be, so he does it really well. He does spoilt ruler really well.
And the mother as well is perfect. She's brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah. They work really well together.
So you get them straight away. You get sort of who they are, that they're visiting this place.
It's not just Ambril, Mother, it's all of it. The ceremony and everything, it's all such nonsense, isn't it? Is it? Of course it is. But all so long ago. The Mara was destroyed 500 years ago, and yet we're still celebrating it.
I was trying to work out, because actually we haven't really done a proper sequel to Somewhere before. Well, actually, apart from Peladon, we went to Peladon again, didn't we? Maybe that was the only time. But that was the same sort of thing, wasn't it? But this
also, yeah. I mean, this is well in the future. This is like 500 years in the future.
Yeah,
isn't it?
this is like 500 years more. And they're talking about the Legend of the Mara. But then I was trying to think on Kinder they were talking about the Legend of the Mara, and it came back. So it's not the same planet or anything like that. It's sort of the same cluster, the same sort of solar system, isn't it? So
because they talk about the fact that like these people took it over, they're gone. These people, they're gone. These are they talk about all that, don't they?
So I was trying to connect it because they're like, I don't know, Federation or whatever, like Martin Clunes' family. And I don't know if they were the people that were gonna, the scientists and that from last time, if they were part of that when they were. It's a long time away, isn't it?
I understood it, and again, I could be really wrong. That it's supposed to indicate like all those people that were there before. And this, she explains, like she goes through the history of it, and like I think it's supposed to sort of indicate that like this is a completely different thing to what it was in its history.
I think it's quite talky in terms of the history of it. I think that's the problem. There's a lot of standing around talking about the Legend of the Mara, it's this, and there's a little bit of a mystery, but they're still trying to work it out by part 3. And that it's not like your action adventure. There's not enough of it to be an action adventure. It's not particularly dramatic because they're standing around talking. It's not really anything. I think that's the problem. It doesn't stand out as anything. And if you're not particularly interested in the history and the culture and all of this stuff, I mean, they do it very well. It's acted and it's obviously thought out very well. But I just felt like I'm not that interested. And with Tegan, brilliant, she's taken over. But we've seen it before. So
yeah, that's it. We've seen a lot of this before. If you're going to do it, you either need to do it. You need to do it close enough to what was happening before that you recognise it and feel it, or it needs to be completely different. And, I mean, we've had her taken over a few times, not just with the Mara, but she has been taken over. It's a pretty standard thing that Tegan gets taken over. I want to see Nyssa taken over.
Yeah, that would have been more interesting if it was the other way around. Yeah.
Always Tegan.
Well, as we head towards the end of episode 1, so the Doctor gives a little Walkman to listen to keep her. So that's funny. I really love, and I'm going to say this, I really love the fortune teller lady.
Yeah, of course.
I flutter my fingers, gaze deep into the ball, and then I make something up. Whatever comes into my head. Whatever I think they want to hear. After all, they're paying.
Yeah.
Only because she's a bit like Edith in the way that she just says it quite real and she's quite naturalistic in that she's like, oh, come and have a sit down. Oh, yeah, I'm the fortune. Oh, between you and me, I just make it up or whatever. And she's having a bit of a laugh and she's quite chilled out.
Yeah, I liked her as well. It's a shame, again, though, that it sets up this whole, like, character relationship with her and then she just doesn't appear again.
She's there for the end of the cliffhanger, really, and that's when Tegan is taken over. But I was thinking, even the cliffhangers in this, episode 1, oh, Tegan is definitely taken over. well, we sort of already knew that was going to happen anyway. Episode 2 is Tegan with the red eyes. She's taken over. We're like, well, we know that. It's not a big shock. And episode 3, oh my God, that's Nyssa screaming, wasn't it? The best cliffhangers moved the story on, but all of these were just...
They're just static.
Nothing.
That's a lot of this story,
it's just a pause. And that sums it up, doesn't it? And even the Doctor and Nyssa running around, we're going under the cave. He's running around sort of shouting at people, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. No one's really listening to him.
I feel like they just don't get anywhere.
That's it.
They're just saying constantly, what you're doing is you're seeing this all happen to Tegan. It's not like any time they're just missing out or anything. That would be more interesting. Like, they're just about to fix it, and they don't. Something like that. But all it is them just saying the same things. And, they lose her for a while, and then, but they're like, this will happen. I don't know. It just doesn't move. And all I'm waiting for is the very last bit when it feels like nothing, and that's when they figure it out. But they're never even trying to figure it out. They're just like, this will happen. And you're just seeing it gradually happen. You're like, yeah, this is all you're saying.
Because Tegan goes in that hall of mirrors and gets Lon sort of taken over with the snake on the arm and everything. Again, we've seen it before.
He's very happy to do so.
Yeah, I think he was a bit like... Because she sort of summons him, gets him there. And he's quite shocked that someone would do that because that's his character. And then I don't know what he thought was going to happen because he didn't know she was evil.
He wants to be a bad boy. I think he says to his mum something like, I'm evil or I'm bad or something, doesn't he? He says something like that. It made me sort of giggle.
Well, yeah, and then obviously they're taken over and they have the sort of the red. He's got his red under his eyes to show that he's now taken over, and Tegan's got her lipstick stuff back again. They make a great evil double act, those two.
They do, yeah.
They work really well. And you've got
he's great. He's always great. Martin Clunes is always great. But he's really good in this. He's really convincing. He's really charismatic as a character. And Tegan's acting is brilliant, I think, throughout. When she's evil, and it's like a completely different character.
And you've got the Hall of Mirrors guy, who is the husband of the actress that plays Sarah Jane.
Oh, there you go.
So he's great as a sort of secondary character. You've got Martin Clunes wearing those massive gloves to hide that he's got the snake. But he looks like he's going to
That's what makes him look like a pirate. Those gloves, those long leather gloves that are quite big. It looks like he's about to pull a rope or something. And then that earring and that flouncy top. I'm he just looks like a pirate.
Well, no, they're when you have a hawk on you. They're those those gloves. Very strange, really.
It just reminded me of being a pirate.
What do you think of the guy that's helping out the Doctor and Nyssa? I want to call him Chela. He was very good. He had the most sensible outfit as well. He was the assistant guy of the... He was wearing all brown.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I had to think. He was great. Again, he was really good. He was kind of more the rationale in the situation. Yeah. I thought he was good. I didn't know his name, but I knew who he...
No,
yeah.
I had to look it up, but no.
I don't think it comes up.
Nyssa is doing her sort of... out on her own, trying to rescue the Doctor because the Doctor's in prison. I actually really like the design of the prison with the bars going sort of sideways. It just makes it a bit more interesting.
A bit different, yeah.
There's a lot of sets actually.
There's a lot. Like I say, it is good in some ways. It's just a bit doesn't go anywhere as a story.
Because actually, we're skipping right ahead. We've gone through the old story in parts. All it is they're going to get this crystal. Wake up the Mara, same as Kinder. The Doctor takes the crystal out. Well, actually, I didn't really get why he had to go to the old guy and get bit by the snake and stuff. I was just a bit by that point. I've never really got that, and I just thought we know to stop. There's a lot of
there's a lot of things that happen just for happening's sake.
There's so much mythology in it. There's so much. The legend of the Mara, it's this, and then this crystal does this, and then you have to concentrate on it. It transmits thoughts, so that's why the old guy had to go and sort of there's all of that, which we had in the first one a little bit. It does build on that, but I think it's a bit too much this time.
I agree. Yeah, there's almost too many layers to it that are never really fully thought through and developed, and for you to follow.
Because Kinder, we really liked there were layers to it, and you could watch it again, but it was just quite contained within that story. That okay, there's the it was just a simpler. But this is like,
I think with this there are layers, but they're never fully talked through. So like I feel like in Kinder things were explained more, that then you could see that layer, and then whereas this, it took me a while to be like, so why are they looking for this thing again? Like, do they have it? Do they not have it? Like, because you know about it because it's a mythology of it, but actually there's just no full, like, I think it was episode 2 when he talks about how the energy's going out, not in, and nothing comes from that for like until the end.
and I got a bit fed up of Evil Tegan after a while.
It was too early. But equally, I think they kind of had to, because otherwise she's just like, when she's terrified and sat there, all that, she was really good. But you can't have that for like 2 episodes.
No. And then they always just cut back to the old guy just sitting there every now and then.
Every now and then we get that guy sat in the desert.
that doesn't not explained. And
it's never that. I had to ask you. I said to you, I was like I've not missed something. I'm guessing it's the guy that had to leave, and he's just but like, there's no like other connection. We just see him in the little thing, don't we? The doctor sees him. That's about it. And then at the end, he just walks off. He's like, "Oh, it's done now. Off I go."
Well, his work is done. It's all over, supposedly. We do get the snake at the end again. I think it's a better snake.
It is a better snake. I was going to say that, yeah. It's better snake on BritBox. And that whole scene between Snake and Tegan, that was, that...
with her face in, like, the mouth and everything.
Yeah, that was effective. Yeah. Like, it's so tricky, isn't it, Mark? Because, I mean, this is going to be another short one, I think.
I know, I was going to say, I was looking at the time, I was like, have we gone through everything already? How can we elaborate on this? Because...
it's so hard to elaborate. I've said this before. If something's bad, you can talk a lot about it. If something's good, you can talk a lot about it. If something's just average... Sorry, one sec. I thought the cat was heaving, but I couldn't see her. But she's just scratching something, like paper. So it sounds like...
right.
Like that. So sorry, I was like, if she's about to throw up, don't throw up on the carpet. I was just going to throw her into the kitchen. That's why I had to stop. I'll just go back a minute. If it's just blah, if it's just average, that's kind of it. And it's really hard to like go into too many of the characters or go into too many, because I've no criticism of anyone's acting in this. I thought, like, we've talked about much, because we've talked about the mother, all the side characters, they're really strong. And like, I really enjoyed the scene, Tegan and that, but there's not a lot with the story to make you go, yeah, do you know what? This was interesting, or I liked when this happened. The doctor in this, he doesn't really do much.
It's not really his story, is it? I got fed up of him running around, interrupting, going, this is going to happen. And it's like, well, go and sort it out then, do something. Don't...
Yeah. No, I agree. It was kind of a not him. He didn't need to be, other than the fact that, like, at the end they're going to save Tegan. I wanted to see him be more proactive in trying to do that, rather than just telling everyone.
I feel like
this is happening.
A lot of time is given to Martin Clunes and Mother, quite a lot more than we have other stories where you are following them quite a lot of the time separately.
Yeah,
I think Kinder was a worthy story to get a sequel. A rare
for
sequel.
Sure. It's just a shame that, like...
don't do this exactly the same thing again.
Or if you do, it's got to be bigger. Like, if this is like, he's finally coming back and this is the build-up, it's got to be big. And in some ways it was. We had more cast, we had big sets, all that. But like I said, like, I wanted to be more aware from, like, early on that they're getting ready for this festival. I mean, like, early on I was like, why are they doing this tour? Like, what other than to show us, why are they doing it? Actually, it would have been more interesting in terms of, like, maybe this is just me, but I think I would have liked sort of like a tour, not the family, but a tour going on to show people as part of the festival. You get to come and have it's kind of like, when Buckingham Palace is open over the summer and people go and see it, that sort of thing. I think I would have liked something more like that, which would have given the opportunity to explain some of the history a bit more, rather than just, oh, well, this is what it is. and then that's it.
Yeah, and
Things just had no context.
no, there wasn't enough just following mother, son, and historian, because it relies on them explaining everything.
Yeah, and and why? And I just, because also all you're seeing with it, you get it, okay? You get it literally when he's on the first scene. Like, he's an asshole. That's his whole thing.
I think there'll be people listening that will be like, no, it's really good. It's a really good one, and probably loads of different layers of things that we're missing out on. But no, I saw this before I saw Kinder as well. I think my favourite thing out of it is, although it's terrible, Nyssa changing her outfit. I think that was the most positive thing in this.
There's some good outfit changes. It's just not a good. I don't know. Like I said, the best thing was Tegan's acting was brilliant throughout. I watched this. The first episode I watched twice. Like, as in, I started it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do any more. I'm not in the headspace for this today. And then I started it again and finished it. And then the second one, I did the same. I actually thought I'd finished it. And then I looked and I still had 10 minutes left. And I was like, oh my God. So I finished that. And then I've done 3 and 4. And 3 and 4 I did enjoy. Like, things start happening. Do you know what I mean? It starts moving. But
I knew this one would be a little bit more of like it's not Keys of Marinus at all.
No, it's not.
Why didn't Keys of Marinus get a sequel?
Mark will be asking that till the end of time.
Oh, I'd love to see the world of Marinus again one day.
I mean, we've put it in audio.
Yes.
In our audio version. That's about as close as we'll get.
We've done our version, yeah. Well, it's not going to win any Oscars, probably, so there we go.
No. Although it was really nice to see Martin Clunes.
There we go. Oh, well, we'll move on. They're never going to be. This will be in the category of the Sea Devils, which we didn't have much to say about.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, guys. Next week is a good one. I promise you.
Okay, what's it called?
Next week. It's got a cool title as well. It's called Mordrin Undead.
Mordrin Undead?
Yeah. Mordrin.
Mordrin?
Yeah.
Like more gin, but Mordrin.
MAWD. Oh shit, how'd you spell it? MAW. Oh god, everyone's going to be like shouting. Hang on a second, I need to write it down so I know.
Can't you just look it up?
No, I know how to spell it, I just need to see it. Oh yeah, I got it. MAWDRYN.
Mordrin, okay. Sounds Welsh.
When I had Mordrin. When I had the episode titles and I'd not seen all of the things, that one just stood out as like a cool title.
It is a bit of it sounds like some sort of Welsh horror.
Welsh horror, Mordrin. Yeah.
Mordrin Undead. Yeah. Undead, isn't it?
Undead, yeah.
Mordrin Undead. Interesting. I think something will come back to life, which, pretty standard. Doctor Who. We've literally just had it twice, actually. We've had what's-his-face try and come back. We've just had this try and come back. I'm guessing someone's going to try and come back.
Well, it's the 20th anniversary season.
Yeah, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. Well, everybody, I hope you were enjoying this either on BritBox or in your Blu-rays, watching Snakedance in crisp condition. I hope you enjoyed it more than we did.
Yeah, maybe you've had a better week. We're both just a bit tired. And do you know what? If the story's not enough to keep us going, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a chill. This is like a week where you just want to watch Keys of Marinus and chill out and not have to think too much. This was too thinky. That was it. It's too thinky. Yeah,
I don't even think it's that. You're being generous there, I think.
Well, let's not try and Okay, well, we'll see you all next week then, everyone.
Yeah. Where can you find us, Mark?
You can find us on, I should say X really, but it's Twitter, at 2WatchWho, and on...
I say X, formerly Twitter. That helps.
Well, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, at 2WatchWho, and Instagram at 2WatchWho. I've not updated the Instagram for ages, and I will. That's what happened this week as well. My phone went weird. On Monday, I looked, I had -1 phone calls. My whole contact list had disappeared, and I can't post I couldn't post any photos on anything. If I like wanted to post something on like WhatsApp or Twitter or something, it would say go to your settings and allow photos. I go there, nothing there at all. Like,
how weird.
It's just all gone really weird. So I was like, oh great, I've got to get a new phone. And then I switched it off and on again and it's fine. So I don't know what I pressed or something in my pocket maybe or anything, but I don't know why I had -1.
Yeah, that's weird. It's been a bit of a week, hasn't it, love?
And like all the the numbers were there, but all the names or the whole contact list disappeared. Anyway, it's fine now, so I can post stuff now, and I will soon. Anyway, there you go. There's an update. Right, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yes, bye.
To watch who?